Okay, so you can see we have 2 hood pieces, and it doesn't matter which one you start with, and you take and you put your pretty side to your pretty side, and you start by sewing this little top strip to the edge. So I make sure that my little corner, that's where I worry about. I don't worry about this front part. I don't connect that part. I worry about that little corner. And you're going to be going around a curve, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get that straight piece to stay with that curve. If you look here, you can see that it naturally wants to come apart. So if you need to, you can pin it. But if you go slow, you can get around without pinning it. Again, this seam is not going to be visible, and it's not going to get any pressure on it. So you can make it a somewhat small seam. So I'm going to start out. I'm going to go forward a little bit. I'm going to go backwards. Okay, now I'm going to readjust my fabric so that it's together. Readjust again. Readjust again. Readjust again. Go backwards. Cut that thread. While I'm at it, I'll cut this other one. And you see here, I have one part of the hood. Now I have to do the other side in the exact same way. So I'm going to bring these edges together. Go backwards and forwards. Put that edge together. Now, I want you to notice something. I purposefully do this, so when we do that middle strip, it is a little bit longer, and that's okay, because we can always trim off a little extra, but we cannot easily add what we didn't put on in the first place. Now we want these edges to be perfectly together, and I will carefully follow this line that's here and go up. So then I've just cut this part off that I don't need, and now it's a perfect fit, a perfect match. If by chance the little flap section or strip here had been shorter, I would have to trim off some of my front, some of this panel, but it has to match. Now I'm going to make the other hood in the exact same way, and then I'll show you how to put them together to have a double. Okay, so now I have both hoods are done, and now I'm going to show you how to put both hoods together. Now, I usually do this without pinning. So this is the nice side of the hood, and this is the nice side of the hood, no seams. I'm going to put those two sides together, and I'm going to put the seams together. Okay? So those two seams together, and I'm going to begin sewing from one of these seams. So I'm going to lay it down, keeping my edges together. Again, this is a seam that is not going to get a lot of pressure on it. It's never going to be seen because it's going to be on the inside of the hood. And so I'm going to give myself just a small seam allowance. Keeping my edges together. important part. I'm going all the way to the end, going backwards at the end, cutting that thread. I do not finish this little edge, so I don't turn my needle around. I just keep going to the end. And now I'm going to flip it and finish this other side, because I didn't start at the end. I didn't start at the edge of the other end. And the reason I didn't do that is because it's more important that these top sections be together. And if I started right at the end, I could end up with it being off-centered. So now I'm going to lay that down, go backwards and forwards to lock in my seam or my stitch. My edges together. All the way to the end. Now, so now I open it up this way, and I'm going to sew this little bottom part together, making sure that I'm putting the right sides together and I'm sticking the middle together. Okay? This is a short enough section that you should be able to hold that middle in place. Start out, go backwards to lock that in, go up. Now, you are kind of going into a little turn here. So I like to put my needle down, turn it, and go the rest of the way. And now, even though that looked really weird, I'm sure this looks super weird. Once I turn it, oops, here's some threads that are going to be stuck in there. I don't want those. Turn it this way, and I will have a double hood. Okay, so in the same way that we ironed the pocket to get to the very edge of this seam, you're going to do the same thing with the hood. So bring it like this, bring this edge, okay, and basically you're going to go all the way around. This is a completed hood. You can see all the edges have been ironed. A completed double-sided hood.